What would you do if the moment your life cracked open happened under fluorescent office lights, with your kids waiting in the back seat and your wife's laughter bleeding through a door she thought was locked? It was 4:17 p.m. when I pulled into the parking garage on West Adams Street in Chicago, engine still humming, my daughter in the back asking why mom wasn't answering her phone. My son was half asleep, clutching his backpack. She texted me 15 minutes earlier. "Can you pick them up early? I'm slammed at work." That wasn't unusual. What was unusual was the way she didn't answer after that. No follow-up, no emoji, no thank you. Just silence. I remember walking into the building, badge buzzing me in, the elevator mirrors reflecting a man I didn't recognize anymore. Tired, loyal, blind. And then I reached her office door. It was slightly open, and I heard her say something that didn't belong to me. "If he ever finds out, I'll just take everything." If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. I didn't push the door right away. I stood there frozen, heart pounding so loud I was sure they'd hear it. There was a man's voice inside too, low, confident, amused. "He won't," he said. "Guys like him never do." Guys like me. I nudged the door just enough to see. She was sitting on her desk, not behind it, on it. Her blouse unbuttoned halfway, heels dangling off her toes, smiling at him like she used to smile at me when we were still something. His hand was on her thigh like it belonged there, like I had never existed. And in that moment, something inside me didn't just break. It went silent. I backed away without a sound. I don't remember the elevator ride down. I don't remember getting into the car. I just remember my daughter asking again, "Where's mom?" And me saying, "She's working late." That night, she came home like nothing happened. Kissed the kids, tossed her heels near the door, asked what was for dinner. I watched her from across the table, noticing things I had ignored for months. The way she barely looked at me, the way her phone never left her hand, the way she smiled at texts she'd never show. "You okay?" she asked, finally noticing my silence. "Just tired," I said. She nodded, relieved. Not concerned, relieved. That was the first time I realized she didn't fear losing me, because she thought she already owned the ending. The next few weeks were a slow bleed. Late nights at the office, client dinners, sudden gym memberships, password changes. She started locking the bathroom door when she showered, started dressing differently, talking differently. And I started watching. I didn't confront her, not yet. I needed to understand how deep it went. The first proof came from a receipt, a hotel on Michigan Avenue, 2 nights, paid in cash, but she'd accidentally left the paper in her coat pocket. I found it while doing laundry. Room 1408. The second proof came from her phone. She forgot it one morning when she rushed out, just once. I didn't need long. His name was Ryan, saved under a woman's name. Predictable. Their messages weren't even careful. Photos, plans, jokes about me. "He's so easy," she wrote once. "I know," he replied. "You deserve better than that." I remember staring at that line, something cold settling in my chest. Not anger, clarity. She didn't just betray me, she disrespected me. Completely. From that point on, I stopped being her husband. I became a witness. I started documenting everything. Screenshots, bank statements, GPS logs from the car, security footage from our home system. I even hired a private investigator, not because I needed more proof, but because I needed it to be undeniable. The PI followed them for 2 weeks. Photos in restaurants, in his car, entering that same hotel, room 1408. He wasn't just some fling. He was comfortable, confident, smug. I learned more about him than I ever wanted to. Divorced, sales executive, reputation for office romances. He worked in the same building. Of course he did. Meanwhile, at home, she became colder, more aggressive, picking fights over nothing. "You're not the man you used to be," she snapped one night. I almost laughed. "You're right," I said quietly. She didn't notice the difference in my tone, but I did, because I wasn't broken anymore. I was building something, slowly, carefully. I met with a lawyer downtown, in a quiet office overlooking the river. I laid everything out, every piece of evidence, every detail. He leaned back in his chair, impressed. "This is airtight," he said. "Custody, assets, you're in a strong position." "I don't just want out. I want the truth to follow her." He nodded. "Then we do this right." The trap wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. It was precise. First, I separated our finances quietly. Then I secured full copies of everything: her accounts, her communications, her lies. Then came the final piece: her office. I requested a meeting with HR under the pretense of a serious concern. I brought the PI's report, the messages, the hotel records. Company policy was clear: fraternization with direct business partners terminated immediately. Ryan wasn't just some random guy. He was a client. That meeting lasted 23 minutes. They thanked me. Sincerely. The day everything came apart for her was a Friday. She called me at 2:13 p.m., panicked. "They fired me," she said, voice shaking. "They said, there's accusations." "I know," I said. Silence. "What?" "I know," I repeated. She came home early that day. No confidence, no arrogance, just fear. "What did you do?" she asked. I handed her the envelope. Divorce papers, custody filings, evidence. Her hands trembled as she flipped through the pages. "You went through my phone?" she whispered. "No," I said. "You left it open." She looked up at me, eyes wide, finally seeing me for the first time in months. "You're ruining my life." I held her gaze. "You already did that." Ryan didn't last much longer either. His company cut ties within days. Word spread. People talk, especially when there's proof. She tried to fight it at first, tried to manipulate, cried, apologized, blamed stress, blamed me. "I made a mistake," she said one night, standing in the doorway like a stranger. "No," I replied. "You made a series of choices." The court process was quiet, efficient. She didn't have much to stand on. No job, damaged reputation, documented infidelity. I got the house, the kids, the silence. Months later, I saw her once, outside a grocery store on Housestead. She looked smaller, not physically, just diminished. She saw me too, opened her mouth like she wanted to say something. I didn't stop. I didn't slow down, because there was nothing left to hear. That night, I sat alone in the living room, the house finally still, the kind of quiet that doesn't comfort you, it just reminds you what's gone. And I realized something. Revenge doesn't feel like victory. It feels like closing a door you can never open again. I turned off the lights, stood there in the dark, and for the first time in a long time, I felt nothing at all. Because the woman I loved didn't lose me that day. She lost the last version of me that ever would have cared. The end.